Have you ever felt like life has brought you to your knees, stripped away your strength, and left you questioning everything you thought you knew? Perhaps you've been walking through a season where every step feels heavier than the last, where the burdens of loss, disappointment, and struggle weigh so heavily that you wonder if you'll ever stand tall again. Yet deep within there's a faint flicker, a whisper in your spirit that refuses to let you give up. That whisper, my friend, is God's assurance that your story is far from over. We all face seasons of brokenness, times when everything we've worked for seems to crumble, and we're left with nothing but questions. Why is this happening to me? Will things ever get better? Has God forgotten me? These questions echo in our hearts during our darkest nights, making us feel isolated and unseen. But let me tell you something powerful. God has never abandoned you. Even in the silence, even in the pain, He has been working behind the scenes, preparing you for a season of restoration and renewal. Picture this: after a long, harsh winter, when the ground seems barren and lifeless, the first signs of spring begin to appear. The snow melts, revealing tender shoots breaking through the soil. Trees that look dead begin to sprout new leaves. What seemed desolate transforms into a canvas of life, beauty, and promise. This is the essence of restoration, a divine process of bringing life back to what appeared lost, of making all things new. And just like the seasons in nature, your life is shifting. The winter is ending and spring is on its way. But here's the challenge: restoration doesn't always announce itself boldly. It doesn't arrive with fireworks or grand gestures. Instead, it begins quietly, subtly, almost imperceptibly. It's a soft nudge in your spirit, a sense that something is changing. It's that first glimpse of light breaking through the darkness, the first bloom of hope in a barren season. These moments are not coincidences, they are signs that you are walking into your season of renewal. The question is, are you paying attention? Let me ask you this: have you started noticing small shifts in your life? Perhaps you felt a strange peace in the midst of chaos, or a sudden sense of clarity about what lies ahead. Maybe doors that once seemed locked are beginning to open, or relationships that drained you have fallen away, leaving space for something new. These aren't random occurrences, they are God's way of preparing you for what's next. Restoration is about more than just recovering what was lost. It's about stepping into something greater than you imagined, something that aligns with the purpose God has for your life. It's not simply about regaining your strength, it's about becoming stronger, wiser, and more rooted in faith than ever before. Renewal is not a return to what was, it's a transformation into what's meant to be. But how do you know when this season has arrived? How do you recognize the signs that God is restoring and renewing you? The truth is, God speaks to us through the quiet moments, the small victories, and the subtle shifts in our lives. His voice often comes as a gentle whisper, inviting us to see beyond our pain and step into His promise. Maybe you've been holding on to hurts from the past, carrying wounds that refuse to heal. Or perhaps you've been wandering, feeling disconnected from your purpose, unsure of where to turn next. These moments, as painful as they are not the end of your story. They are the soil in which God is planting seeds of renewal. He is clearing away what no longer serves you, making room for what will bring you life. Think about it. Every great story has a moment when the hero is brought low, when all seems lost. But it's in that moment that the seeds of redemption are planted. It's in the darkest nights that the stars shine the brightest. Your season of restoration is no different. God is taking the pieces of your brokenness and weaving them into something beautiful, something only He can create. Today we're going to explore the 10 signs that you're stepping into this transformative season. These signs are God's way of showing you that the storm is passing, that He has been with you through every trial, and that He is leading you into a season of peace, purpose, and joy. As we uncover these signs, I invite you to reflect on your own journey and open your heart to the possibility that your season of renewal has already begun. So, let's take this journey together. Let's uncover the signs that God is speaking to you, guiding you, and restoring you. The path ahead is filled with hope, promise, and the unmistakable touch of His grace. Sign 1. You feel a shift in your spirit. There comes a moment in your life when your spirit begins to sense something new on the horizon. It's not loud or obvious, it's a quiet stirring deep within, like a gentle breeze brushing against your soul. This shift is not random. It's God preparing you for the season of restoration and renewal He has promised. Even before your circumstances change, your spirit begins to align with His divine plan. You may not understand it fully, but you feel it, a sense of calm replacing the chaos, a spark of hope igniting where despair once lived. This shift is God's way of telling you, I am doing something new. It's a spiritual awakening, a reassurance that the trials you've faced are not without purpose. The Bible reminds us in Isaiah 43:19, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it?" That verse speaks directly to the shift you feel. It's as if God is calling you to pay attention, to recognize that He is at work even when you can't see the full picture. You might find that things that once bothered you no longer hold the same power. Situations that once caused anxiety are now met with a strange peace, as if your heart knows something your mind has yet to grasp. That is the Holy Spirit moving within you, paving the way for what's to come. It's a reminder that restoration begins on the inside before it manifests outwardly. This spiritual shift is a sacred invitation. It's God whispering to you, prepare your heart, for I am about to renew your life. When you feel it, lean into it. Trust that this shift is not your imagination, it's divine alignment. Sign 2. Opportunities begin to open unexpectedly. When you're walking into your season of restoration, opportunities often begin to open in ways that seem almost miraculous. Doors you thought were permanently shut begin to creak open, and pathways that once seemed blocked are suddenly clear. These moments are not mere coincidences, they are divine appointments orchestrated by God Himself. He is aligning circumstances in your favor, moving pieces into place that you couldn't arrange on your own. This is the fulfillment of His promise in Revelation 3:8. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. God is the ultimate author of your story, and when He decides it's time for your restoration, no obstacle, no opposition, and no enemy can stand in the way. What you thought was lost forever is now being restored, and opportunities you didn't even dare to pray for are being prepared just for you. Pay attention to the sudden shifts in your life. Perhaps someone reaches out with an offer that seems too good to be true, or maybe a forgotten dream resurfaces, and the resources to pursue it suddenly appear. These are not accidents, they are God's way of guiding you toward the new season He has planned. Even small opportunities, ones that seem insignificant at first, can be the first step towards something far greater. But with these opportunities comes a call to faith. Sometimes they require you to step out of your comfort zone, to trust that what God has prepared for you is better than what you are leaving behind. These open doors are His invitation to walk in obedience and courage, knowing that He goes before you to make the way straight. Trust Him and walk boldly into what He has prepared. Sign 3. Past hurts start losing their power over you. One of the clearest signs that God is bringing you into a season of restoration is when the chains of past hurts begin to loosen. The pain that once gripped your heart so tightly starts to lose its hold. This is not because the memories have vanished or the scars have disappeared, but because God is moving within you, replacing bitterness with His peace and healing. The process may feel slow, but it is deliberate, a divine work to cleanse your heart and prepare you for renewal. Psalm 147:3 says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This is God's promise to you. When you begin to feel the weight of old wounds lifting, it's not just a coincidence, it's a sacred sign that God is restoring what was lost and mending what was broken. He is turning your pain into purpose, your trials into testimonies. Perhaps there was a time when certain memories brought tears to your eyes, or when the thought of a person or situation triggered anger or sorrow. Now you find that those emotions are softening. You no longer dwell on the hurt as you once did. This is God working within you, teaching you to release the burdens you were never meant to carry. His Spirit whispers, let it go. Trust me with this. This release doesn't mean you've forgotten what happened or that the hurt wasn't real. It means that God's healing power is greater than the pain you endured. He is reminding you that your identity is not rooted in your past, but in His promises. This shift is a sign that He is clearing the soil of your heart, making room for new growth and blessings that are on the way. Sign 4. Divine connections appear in your life. When God is preparing you for restoration, He often sends the right people into your life at just the right time. These are not casual acquaintances or surface-level friendships. These are divine connections, relationships that bring wisdom, encouragement, and alignment with God's purpose for you. They may arrive unexpectedly, but their impact will feel undeniable. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." This verse reminds us that the people God places in our lives during seasons of renewal are there to strengthen us, to refine us, and to help us grow. These connections might come as mentors who guide you, friends who uplift you, or even strangers whose words resonate deeply in your spirit. They carry the divine assignment to walk with you through this season. Divine connections are marked by a sense of peace and alignment. Unlike relationships that drain or distract, these connections feel purposeful. They challenge you in the best ways, encouraging you to grow closer to God and step into your calling. You may find that they bring fresh perspectives, open doors to new opportunities, or simply provide the support you need to move forward. But recognizing these connections requires discernment. Not everyone who enters your life is sent by God. Pray for wisdom, asking Him to reveal who is truly aligned with His plan for you. When these divine connections appear, they will often feel like an answer to prayer, a reminder that you are not walking this path alone. They are God's way of showing you that even in the process of renewal, He is providing the people you need to help you flourish. Trust in these connections. They are a reflection of God's love and a reminder that He uses others to fulfill His promises in your life. Embrace them with gratitude and walk boldly into this new season, knowing that you are surrounded by those who are meant to uplift and support you. Sign 5. You're drawn toward renewal in faith. When God is leading you into a season of restoration and renewal, one of the most profound signs is a renewed hunger for Him. You find yourself drawn to His Word, seeking His presence with a depth and sincerity you may not have experienced before. It's as though your spirit recognizes that the restoration you seek cannot come from the world, it must come from the One who created you. This renewed faith is a cornerstone of your restoration. Matthew 6:33 reminds us, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." When you prioritize your relationship with God, He begins to realign every other aspect of your life. This is not about perfection or having all the answers, it's about surrendering to Him, trusting that He is working even when you cannot see the results. In this season, you might notice a newfound desire to spend time in prayer, worship, or studying Scripture. Passages that once felt distant suddenly speak directly to your heart, as though God is using them to guide you. You may also experience a deeper sense of conviction, a call to let go of habits, relationships, or attitudes that no longer align with His purpose for your life. This spiritual renewal is not a coincidence, it's God preparing your heart for the blessings to come. This drawing toward faith often comes with a sense of peace that surpasses understanding. Even when your circumstances haven't fully shifted, you feel anchored, as though God is holding you steady in the midst of uncertainty. This is His way of teaching you that restoration is not just about external change, it's about internal transformation. He is renewing your mind, strengthening your spirit, and equipping you for the new season ahead. As you lean into this renewal, trust the process. God is not only restoring what was lost, but also deepening your connection with Him. This renewed faith is the foundation upon which your restoration will be built, a constant reminder that His plans for you are greater than anything you could imagine. Sign 6. You notice small victories in everyday life. When you are entering your season of restoration, small victories begin to appear in your life like drops of rain after a long drought. These victories may seem minor at first: a resolved conflict, an unexpected financial blessing, or even a day filled with joy and laughter, but they carry profound significance. They are glimpses of God's hand at work, reminders that He is faithful and that He is leading you toward greater things. Zechariah 4:10 says, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." Small victories are God's way of showing you that He is present in the details, that He cares about every aspect of your life. They are seeds of hope planted in your spirit, encouraging you to keep trusting Him even when the full harvest has yet to appear. These victories often come when you least expect them. Perhaps a difficult situation resolves itself without your intervention, or an opportunity you thought was out of reach suddenly becomes attainable. These moments are not random, they are signs that God is moving on your behalf. Each small victory is like a piece of a puzzle, slowly coming together to reveal the bigger picture of His restoration in your life. Pay attention to these moments. They may not be dramatic, but they are significant. They are God's way of reminding you that He sees you, He hears you, and He is working for your good. These victories are also a test of faith. Will you recognize them and give thanks, or will you dismiss them as insignificant? Gratitude for these small blessings opens the door for greater blessings to come. As these victories accumulate, they create momentum. Each one strengthens your faith, renews your hope, and prepares you for the larger breakthroughs that lie ahead. Trust that these small victories are paving the way for something extraordinary. God is showing you step by step that your season of restoration is already underway. Sign 7: you experience a renewed vision for your future. When you're entering a season of restoration and renewal, one of the clearest signs is the emergence of a renewed vision for your future. This vision often comes as a spark of clarity, a fresh sense of direction that replaces the confusion or stagnation you may have felt for so long. It's as if God is wiping the fog from the window of your life, allowing you to see the road ahead with greater purpose and hope. Jeremiah 29:11 beautifully captures this moment. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." This renewed vision is a divine assurance that your past does not define you, and that the trials you have endured were preparing you for something greater. God is aligning your heart and mind with His plans, revealing dreams and goals that are perfectly tailored to the purpose He has for your life. This vision might come in stages: a fleeting idea, an inspired thought, or a deep longing to pursue something new. You may feel an urge to revisit dreams you once abandoned or explore areas of your life that you've never considered before. These moments are not random, they are divine nudges, guiding you toward the path of restoration. With this renewed vision, often comes a sense of empowerment. What once seemed impossible now feels attainable because you understand that God is walking with you. You begin to recognize the skills, talents, and resources He has placed within you and how they align with the new direction He is unveiling. Challenges that once felt overwhelming no longer intimidate you because your focus is now on the possibilities rather than the obstacles. This new clarity doesn't mean every detail will be revealed at once. God often works step by step, revealing just enough to keep you moving forward in faith. Trust that He is orchestrating every piece of the puzzle and lean into this vision with confidence. It's not just a glimpse of what's to come, it's an invitation to step boldly into the future He has designed for you. Sign 8: obstacles begin to fall away. When you are walking into your season of restoration and renewal, one of the clearest and most powerful signs is that obstacles in your life begin to fall away. These barriers, which may have seemed insurmountable for years, suddenly lose their power. It's as if an unseen hand is clearing the path ahead of you, removing the roadblocks that once caused frustration, delays, and setbacks. This is not a random occurrence, it is a divine act of God, aligning your life with His purpose and making a way for you to step boldly into your new season. The Bible assures us of this divine intervention in Isaiah 45:2. I will go before you and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of bronze and cut the bars of iron. This verse encapsulates God's promise to remove the obstacles in our lives. When you begin to see these challenges diminish or disappear altogether, it is a sign that God is not just with you, He is actively working on your behalf, ensuring that nothing stands in the way of His plan for your restoration. These obstacles might take various forms. Perhaps it's a financial burden that has weighed you down for years, suddenly lifted by an unexpected provision. Maybe it's a strained relationship that miraculously finds peace and reconciliation. Or it could be an internal struggle, fear, doubt, or insecurity that once held you back, but now feels powerless to stop you. These moments are not coincidences, they are God's fingerprints on your life, evidence of His faithfulness and His ability to make a way where there seemed to be none. Sometimes, these falling obstacles are so subtle that they may initially go unnoticed. A door that was once closed suddenly swings open. A situation that seemed hopeless resolves itself with little effort on your part. People who were once stumbling blocks in your journey may quietly exit your life, leaving space for divine connections and new opportunities. These moments are God's way of reminding you that His power is greater than any opposition you face. However, it's important to note that not all obstacles fall away peacefully. Some may require you to step out in faith and act with courage. God may be asking you to let go of certain habits, relationships, or mindsets that no longer serve His purpose for your life. While this process can be uncomfortable, it is also deeply necessary. He removes these obstacles not to harm you, but to free you from the chains that have been holding you back. Consider the story of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea in Exodus 14. As they stood before the sea with Pharaoh's army closing in, it seemed like an impossible situation. But God told Moses to stretch out his hand, and the sea parted, creating a path for His people to walk into their freedom. The same God who parted the sea is working in your life today. He is removing the barriers that once seemed immovable, creating a path for you to step into the promises He has prepared for you. When obstacles begin to fall away, it's also an opportunity to reflect on God's timing. Perhaps you've wondered why certain challenges persisted for so long, or why certain prayers went unanswered. But as the road clears, you begin to see that every delay, every detour, was part of His greater plan. God's timing is never rushed, and His plans are always perfect. He knows exactly when to remove the barriers, ensuring that you are prepared to walk boldly into your restoration. As these obstacles fall away, they leave behind a sense of freedom and clarity. You no longer feel stuck or weighed down. Instead, you feel a renewed sense of momentum, as though the path ahead is being illuminated step by step. This is God's way of showing you that He is not only clearing the way, but also walking it with you. His presence is your assurance that the road you are on is the right one. When you notice these obstacles diminishing, take time to give thanks. These moments are sacred reminders of God's power and love. They are signs that He has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail to ensure that nothing stands in the way of His purpose for your life. Trust in His process, embrace the freedom that comes with these falling barriers, and move forward with confidence, knowing that your season of restoration is unfolding in His perfect timing. Sign 9. You begin to rediscover joy in small things. When you are walking into your season of restoration and renewal, one of the most profound signs is a rediscovery of joy in the small, seemingly insignificant moments of life. This joy isn't tied to grand events or monumental achievements. Instead, it emerges in the quiet moments: the warmth of sunlight on your face, the beauty of a blooming flower, the laughter of a child, or the stillness of a peaceful evening. These small joys, though humble, carry immense spiritual significance because they reflect the inner healing and renewal God is bringing into your life. Joy is more than just an emotion, it's a fruit of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22 reminds us, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. This joy isn't something you manufacture, it's something God grows within you as He restores your heart and spirit. When you begin to notice and cherish the small blessings around you, it's a sign that God is renewing your perspective, teaching you to see the beauty in His creation and the evidence of His love in every detail of your life. During seasons of struggle, joy can feel distant, overshadowed by pain, fear, or worry. You might go through days where the heaviness of your circumstances blinds you to the blessings in front of you. But as you step into your season of restoration, this begins to change. The burdens you've been carrying start to lift, and your heart begins to soften. Where you once saw despair, you now see hope. Where you once felt emptiness, you now feel fullness. This transformation is not accidental, it's God's work within you, restoring not only your circumstances but also your ability to experience His joy. Rediscovering joy in small things also strengthens your faith. It's easy to see God's hand in the big miracles, but it takes a sensitive heart to recognize Him in the everyday moments. When you start to feel gratitude for the simplest things, a kind word, a refreshing breeze, or a meal shared with loved ones, you are aligning your spirit with God's presence. These moments of joy are whispers from God, reminding you that He is with you, that He cares for you, and that He delights in your happiness. This joy also serves as a powerful reminder of God's faithfulness. In Psalm 35, we are told, "Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning." The rediscovery of joy signifies that your mourning is coming to an end and a new day is dawning in your life. God is taking what was broken and making it whole, turning your sorrow into dancing and your trials into testimonies. As you embrace this newfound joy, you may also notice that it spreads to other areas of your life. Relationships that were strained may begin to feel lighter, infused with laughter and love. Tasks that once felt mundane take on new meaning as you approach them with a grateful heart. This joy becomes a wellspring of strength, enabling you to face challenges with renewed energy and hope. It reminds you that even in the smallest details, God's hand is at work. Allow yourself to fully embrace this joy. Celebrate the small victories and cherish the little moments that make your heart smile. These are not fleeting pleasures, they are signs of the restoration God is bringing into your life. They are glimpses of His love and evidence of the abundant life He has promised you. As you continue to rediscover joy, let it serve as a beacon of hope, guiding you deeper into the season of renewal that God has prepared for you. Sign 10, you feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. When you are stepping into your season of restoration and renewal, an overwhelming sense of gratitude begins to take root in your heart. This gratitude goes beyond simply saying thank you for blessings received. It becomes a deep, abiding awareness of God's faithfulness and presence in your life. It's a shift in perspective, where you no longer focus on what you've lost, but instead celebrate what God is restoring and what He has always been working on behind the scenes. Gratitude is a spiritual posture that transforms how you see the world. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18, we are reminded, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." This command doesn't mean we are grateful for the pain or hardships themselves, but that we can recognize God's hand at work even in the midst of challenges. When you feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude, it's a sign that you are beginning to trust God fully, knowing that He has been orchestrating every detail of your life for your good. This gratitude often emerges during moments of reflection. As you look back on the trials you've endured, you begin to see how God has used them to shape you, strengthen you, and prepare you for what lies ahead. You realize that the delays and detours were not wasted time, but part of His divine plan to bring you closer to Him. This understanding fills your heart with thankfulness, not just for the blessings you've received, but for the lessons you've learned and the growth you've experienced. Gratitude also shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have, you begin to notice the countless ways God has provided for you. You see His blessings in the relationships He has placed in your life, the opportunities He has opened, and the peace that now fills your heart. This gratitude becomes a source of joy, lifting your spirit and reminding you that God's grace is sufficient for every season. As gratitude takes root, it also deepens your relationship with God. Your prayers become less about requests and more about praise. You find yourself thanking Him not only for what He has done, but also for who He is, a loving, faithful, and unchanging God. This shift is a powerful indicator that your heart is being restored and renewed, aligning with the truth of His promises. Gratitude is contagious. As it overflows from your heart, it influences every aspect of your life. It transforms your relationships, making you more patient, loving, and understanding. It enhances your work, giving you a sense of purpose and fulfillment. And it inspires those around you as they see the joy and peace that come from a heart filled with thankfulness. Allow this sense of gratitude to guide you as you step fully into your season of restoration. Let it remind you of God's faithfulness, His love, and His ability to make all things new. Gratitude is not just a response to what God has done, it is an act of faith in what He is continuing to do. Embrace it wholeheartedly and watch as it opens the door to even greater blessings in your life. As we reflect on these 10 signs that you are walking into your season of restoration and renewal, remember this: God is always working, even in the moments when life feels uncertain or overwhelming. Every challenge, every trial, and every tear has been preparing you for the beauty of this new season. He is not only restoring what was lost, but also transforming your heart, mind, and spirit, equipping you for a future filled with purpose and peace. Restoration is not just about regaining what was taken or broken, it is about stepping into something far greater than you could have imagined. It is God's way of realigning your life with His divine purpose, of showing you that He has been with you through every valley and is now leading you toward your mountaintop. Trust in the signs He has placed before you and allow them to guide you with confidence and faith. The Bible tells us in Joel 2:25, "I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten." This is His promise to you. Whatever you have lost, whatever pain you have endured, God is using it all to build something greater. He is turning your mourning into dancing, your ashes into beauty, and your trials into triumphs. You are not walking alone. His hand is upon you, and His plan is unfolding in perfect timing. As you leave today, I encourage you to reflect on the signs we've discussed. Ask God to open your heart and mind to recognize His work in your life. Lean into His promises and trust that He is restoring you piece by piece, moment by moment, until you are made whole. If this message has spoken to your spirit, take a moment to give thanks. Share these insights with others who may need encouragement, and remember that your journey of restoration is a testimony to God's faithfulness. Let your life shine as a beacon of His love and power. Thank you for joining me on this journey of faith and reflection. May God continue to guide you, strengthen you, and renew you in ways that surpass your understanding. Until we meet again, walk boldly in the light of His promises and embrace the new season He has prepared for you. God bless you.